Hello everyone. Um, Welcome to a quick little update video. In this update video, I'm going to be talking about the the direction I'm going to be taking this channel. Obviously, I haven't really uploaded like a lot. That's because I've been quite burnt out from making FNF covers. But obviously, I still do listen to them, and I guess my free time, I guess, yeah. So over the over the times, I've showed a little showcase of you know, Narissa and Elizabeth's chromatic scales. I really, I've been really thinking about where I wanted to take this little, I guess, arc of theirs, the Hollow Life bad ending. Like, I was thinking that I'd change some things. There was a comment that said, well, it was going to be Sonic EXE, and I was thinking about, making Crony because that's the only chromatic scale that I had, which sounded pretty good. And then over the months, I made some new ones, and I was thinking to make, I guess, Shiori or Narissa one of the Sonic EXE characters. The reason why I was thinking about this is because, well, what 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 group they associate with is Advent, and they're criminals. So yeah. Also, I saw a lot of art that Justice and Advent fighting. So yeah, so like I was thinking, let me make chromatic scales for each one of these members. And it was pretty good. I had fun. Obviously, the first attempts were pretty bad, but the V2s were pretty good. So, yeah. Over that, I've been making covers. Well, not really posting them. I've been like making them in FL Studios. I've been, slowly just like gaining back to like the work ethic that I used to do. And it was pretty fun because I started to branch out away from like Hololive. I would go to indies like Mint. I'd make a chromatic scale for that. And then I made one for random just for fun because I like to watch was it Tenma? Yeah. So I thought let me just make a quick chromatic scale, and then I made her chromatic scale and I really liked it. Uh, the first time I made it, I didn't really like it, but as I keep putting her in, like quick little projects, I actually like the way that it came out. And I've actually been thinking of replacing like the one that I originally thought would be the main character, which was Sally. Sally, right? Yeah. So I was thinking of bringing her as, the replacement as Sally, but obviously she's Corpo, and it's Hololive bad ending, so I kind of scrapped that idea. Um, Sally was well, it's the second chromatic scale that sounded pretty good, and a lot of the other ones did not sound very good when they were singing low songs, like slow, like the low parts. So then I decided to make her chromatic scale for fun, and it was pretty good. And then, well, the thing was that obviously she sounded like Crony, so every time I would make her sing against Crony, it'd be like basically the same. But one thing that I had fun was is when I made the chromatic scale, she would like just match the rhythm, just like how Boyfriend would like, you know, every time he's in a new song, it sounds like, don't really have to put much work. And that's the one thing I liked about the chromatic scale for her. So I decided to make her like the main character. But if I really think about it, probably not a good idea to make her, make her the main character because she's not really affiliated. She's just friends with Crony at the end of the day. So I was thinking, well, who has met Hololive members in and out with like It can be a member or it doesn't have to be a member. And then Mint, I saw the Mint stream where she was doing karaoke with Narissa and Elizabeth. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw another clip of her with who was it? Yeah, when she was talking with Bibu. And yeah, so I decided to make a chromatic scale for her. The the samples that I took were from the Metal Gear Solid poster. So yeah, that was pretty fun to do. The first attempt was very when you hear that, she would be doing that every time she would try to sing. I cut out the little. So yeah, after finishing with Mint's chromatic scale, I was thinking about putting her in, being the replacement for that. But again, the OTT, that plugin, it kills me every time, because every time I put in the character, it actually sounds like them, but you really do hear that, and that really is a problem because every time I use new tone, yeah, new tone really sucks at making proper chromatic scales. They all sound robotic, or they sound like themselves, but they really have a lot of that, that like the cut, a little white noise in the background, which gets louder because every time you would use OTT, it just sucks. And I noticed that I tried to use some noise gates, which worked a lot, thankfully, but some of them would just, I would have to restart from scratch, make something new. Like, yeah, there was one chromatic scale that kept being terrible, so I really had to redo it again. It sounded better, but didn't really sound like her, which is the weird part of making these chromatic scales where you use new tune, it really does put even a more a pitch. You could obviously, use the sliders on the top corner, but it really wouldn't help because I tried to make one of Numi, and let me tell you, it does not sound anything like her. I even did another one where I tried to redo it. It still came out like not really the same. It's pretty fascinating to know, but I tried some different, like, experimented, the British voice, the hard accents on some people. It worked pretty well, and it was pretty easy. But for other ones who were just like, regular, barely distinct voices, they would always sound the same. So I would have to like find like clips on YouTube for like different, over the years. Maybe like, this VTuber has been here for like 3 years, so let me look at her new content, get the voice samples for those, if that makes any sense. But if I use the 3-year-old voice samples and it still sounds pretty terrible, I would go back to like the original, like their debut, and I would take some samples from those. And thankfully, I haven't run into that issue yet. But there are some times where I'm making a chromatic scale for a certain like VTuber, and it's not working. Obviously, before the VTubers chromatic scales, I was thinking of making, like shadow, like version. If you see the channel, there was like a lot of Sonic, Monica, and Senpai and Girlfriend covers because I really like those voices. I stopped using Senpai's because I kind of accidentally deleted the HD chromatic scale, and it's completely gone. I've tried searching for it and it's just gone. So yeah, that's a no-go. The Yeah, for the Girlfriend chromatic scales, unfortunately there's not really a lot of them which have like can sing long notes, so I just had to struggle with the ones who had like literally like 1 second like ah E eh, instead of like the 4 minutes that like boyfriend would have singing in his chromatic scale. So that was pretty difficult. Monica, I kind of extended it to an amount where she could just sing like almost any song, but it kind of felt like, a placeholder for something else. I would have this idea and I put Monica in it and she would just stay there. I would just forget to like take her out and be like, you know what, it'll be a cover for her. And then I stopped using the Sonic one because it kind of got pretty old. So I wanted to try something else. So yeah, I was thinking about doing, the first attempt was a Sonic, no, Shadow. And I got Maria. Well, that was about it. I stopped doing that because I attempted to get Shadow. It still didn't work. I was planning on using Sonic as like a replacement as for Eggman, and for Knuckles, I didn't have any idea. It'd probably be like Gerald or I guess Eggman. So yeah. Then I moved on to um a weird point where I was playing this game where it was like I have no mouth but I must scream. And then I saw Am's voice lines and I decided to make a little fun project where I just make a chromatic scale out of that. It was pretty fun, but it was literally just a one-time thing. I didn't really see anything else. And then I moved on to VTubers. Yeah, I watched them a lot, and I would be like, how would they sound in this song? And I would also see another YouTube channel who would make covers of like Hololive members and like other VTubers. And I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. I want to try. And then I did it. It worked pretty good. I really liked how it came out. But the thing is, I never really posted it. The only like three that I posted were like Narissa and Elizabeth. Then I stopped because I was like, well, I gotta make some more chromatic scales because I just have these two, and the other one was Crony. And I try to find like a You're Too Slow remix. I didn't really find anything because my laptop really couldn't handle a lot of plugins. So yeah, that was fun. Some of them would have the I guess instruments like in another video, so I would, download that, put it in. But at the end it kind of really didn't work because the effects were just making the chromatic scales, unbearable. You would hear a lot of the white noise, and it was terrible. So kind of thinking about making more chromatic scales. So I made like surprisingly I made a lot of the Justice. I made Elizabeth's, Gigi, Cecilia, and Aurora, and those were pretty good. The first two attempts of Stacey and Gigi were not good. The V2 was pretty great, and for Elizabeth, I was thinking about redoing it. It doesn't sound bad, but it's not really good too. And Aurora it was pretty good. I obviously had to slice some things like how I did with Mints because of the white noise. And when I cut that down, it was already good. So I just had to edit it a little bit, and that was it. So first attempt for that one was pretty good. The next one was um, Advin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah. So I already did the Narissa one, which already sounded good. So then I went to Shiori's, and that one was the first attempt was pretty bad. So the second one was alright. It really did sound like her. I got the samples from the no context Shiori. Yeah, that was a pretty fun watch, and it gave me a lot of samples to work with, so that was pretty good. The next one was Bibu. Bibu's I guess her chromatic scale was pretty good, but it doesn't sound like her in a weird way. You know, the first attempt where I made the vowels, I can hear it, but then I put it like in a cover. I couldn't really hear anything. It was like a completely different person. After that, I did the twins, and but let's just say one of them was pretty good. The other one was terrible. And then I decided to put the chromatic scales together because, you know, it was a twin. They were twins, so I was like, you know what, let me just test this out. Let me put their samples together. And it was pretty good. It was better than the one I made separately for each one of them. So yeah, then the next one I kind of made Elizabeth, uh, another Elizabeth one where she was doing a impersonation of Crony. No, Maury. She was doing an impression of Maury. Uh, yeah, it was from her debut where she did the little bit, and I took the sample. The first one sounded sounded pretty good, but I kind of wanted a new one because she did like, another one. She did another impression, so I was like, you know what? This sounds kind of more like Maury than the debut one, so I'm gonna take that. It sounded pretty good, and then I did the Maury Calliope chromatic scale, and that sounded nothing like Maury, so that was fun. I'm probably gonna have to redo that chromatic scale of hers, but that's fine. Yeah, Tenma. I did Tenma's because I'm a huge fan of Tenma, right? Because she was my favorite when I was in the middle of working in the chromatic scales. I decided, you know, I'll just do this for fun. Um, the first time I heard it was it was something, all right. But over the days, like you know, I kind of liked it. I used it in covers. I enjoyed it, and yeah, over that, I just started making some more of you know VTubers chromatic scales. Um, there was few chromatic scales that I really couldn't make out of, which was Numi's. I took like a lot of samples, and I still couldn't get you know her voice right with the chromatic scale, which was pretty frustrating. So I kind of gave up. Came back to it, then I gave up again, and I'm probably gonna come back to it. Um, yeah, currently watching more VTubers that make you know new chromatic scales, but kind of don't really know how they're gonna fit in the little project that I was making for the cover, which would be the I guess Sonic EXE. You know, just put the VTuber saying it, and the main character is you know one of the members' best friends. So, you know, uh, I was the original story was the first song, which was with Narissa, was the main character would you know it's like one of those tropes where like oh the main character was dead in in the beginning already in this whole story. I was thinking there was a choice. Either the main character would shake the hand of Narissa to save her life, or she would, you know, fall down in the abyss and try to make it escape. Um, so the reason why, well, I guess my new um, lore of the bad ending was for Narissa. I was thinking that for her new story would be like no one wanted to hear her song, so now she is, you know, stuck in this state where her powers are very limited. And then, but you know, the main character shows up, she sings, but unknowingly, she makes her stronger because she sings with her. She regains her strength. Obviously, it's not complete, but it's a point at the song where the main character gets very injured, and then there would be like a dialogue would be like, "I could save you. Shake my hand, but the catch is I have to be binded to you. Your soul and ours are gonna combine." And over Just until you get to the last song, which would be the finale. Narissa would completely just take over the main character's like body and just they're reborn again, and then they would go back to the surface, and then they would become the idol, and they would get their good ending, which the main character would just it's a vessel, they're gone, there's nothing left in there. That was the original plan, and I was thinking about alternate endings. So yeah, one of the other chromatic scales that I made were about one of her sisters, the pink one. And obviously, I've been watching the stream of Narissa's, and she says, "Oh, the pink one is the weakest one." I was thinking about, you know, when you escape from her and you go to the hole to the abyss, you would see her sister, and she would make the deal with you. Obviously, being a little bit weaker, it's gonna be a tough fight at the end, and the end song would be like admin going after you, because if you leave and you tell them their hideout, it's over for them. That's the last place they hid, and that's the last safe spot that they have anymore. I was thinking about putting like little Easter eggs in there, like, oh, this is Elizabeth's sword, that it's broken but it could still be used, or like GG's, like, I guess metal gloves that you can use. And yeah, more, you know, really going to be more references in there, but kind of stopped the project because I was burnt out. But the ideas still kept coming in, even though I wasn't even working on the songs. I would be like, I guess I could add that, even though I really wouldn't add it. I just like make a note of it. So yeah. So Crony. I was thinking about making her, like the top villain, because I saw this little like video where all her best friends are like gone, and like they graduated, and so I was gonna make a little like reference to that, where it's like this version of Crony was completely broken, so she's gonna do whatever, use her like her time stop to stop people from getting away. I scrapped that idea because it was not really anything much to do from that. It would be regular, like a regular Sonic EXE, just reskin. It would just be that. There would be no lore. It'd be like, oh, I'm evil, I'm gonna sing with you, ha 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 ha. Stage 2, you can't run, ha 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 ha. Stage 3, triple trouble, ha 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 ha. And I kind of moved away from that. And so I was brainstorming some new ideas. And I was thinking about maybe I can use some new branches for the Narissa, I guess, deal making with the main character. And it would be, you have two paths. You could join admin, or you could try to remove Narissa from your soul, to save yourself. And I was thinking that, the sisters, I was also, I was kind of thinking about making the chromatic scale for her brother, since he's also blue, the same blue as her, which would be pretty strong. I was thinking about making him, side with Narissa, as the two sisters would fuse to the main character and have her like the horns, the pink one and the, I guess, light blue. Yeah. And that would be the middle of the fight, but obviously I only have one chromatic scale for one of the siblings. And I don't really know if it's probably okay for me to do that, so I probably just scrap that idea. And I was thinking about doing is it epilogue? No, prologue. That, you know, before the calm before the storm type of story, which at the end it would be like the Prey um, song, where like at the end of the song the characters just they're gone, and then that would be the beginning, and then I was thinking about doing free play as, a little bit fun, like cameos. Like obviously, like Mint, she could make a cameo since she was technically on a Hololive for like a bit for like a collab. I was thinking about doing that. And then I don't know about like what graduation like members. I don't know if I should put them in there or yeah, or just make the chromatic scale out of their indie and randomly their indie would just appear in the free play. But yeah, I've been working on different chromatic scales, which was surprising to me because back back then I would not do chromatic scales because it would just be a pain. And now, a few months earlier, I'm just like, I would make a chromatic scale out of anything. I made a chromatic scale out of in it one of the invincible characters, the variants, Omnimark, and then there was a creator who made like an invincible chromatic scale. So I decided to, you know, test out how like similar it sounds, even though I mean it's gonna sound similar because it's from the same voice actor, but from like a different pitch or different tone. And it sounded pretty similar, but obviously the tone was pretty different. Surprisingly, despite how Omnimark does not have a lot of lines, it sounded pretty good. The chromatic scale, it sounded like it was pretty good, even though it was 4 samples. I couldn't get 5 because very limited, and the other ones were just small talk would be used for the 4 other samples. So yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to give a quick update on my thoughts on I guess, the ideas I had before I decided to know, just stop uploading and just get away from the channel. And yeah, about FNF content, I don't really know if I want to be making that. Obviously, I would still listen to like covers. Well, I would make covers, but not really post them. It would be just, I just, it was for me, I just listened to this Triple Trouble remix. I put in the members that I liked, and they would sing it, and it was pretty fun. Uh, Obviously, this channel has been grown a lot with FNF, and it kind of feels a bit wrong to just push it away and just say, "Oh, I want something else. I don't really want to do this." But there's a small part of me that still wants to do, covers, content about it. The reason why I made FNF covers is because I really wasn't good at, reacting or playing games. I would always be a very quiet person, which was not very good for me. But when I discovered, FL Studios and FNF, like covers and like music, I decided to, I would go try it out, I would test it and I liked it a lot. And this channel has been, I'm very proud of it. I know if you listen to the older songs, they sound pretty bad and very terrible, but I enjoyed making them because in a weird way, it felt special to me making those covers. Even though it sounded bad, I still liked them in a weird way. Um, I would keep, I would even repeat some because I just like that song a lot and I just wanted to hear it again, with the different characters. Obviously, the characters that I used were like pretty repetitive because that would be my go-to, oh, let me use Sonic, let me use Monica, let me use the lullaby girlfriend, let me use Senpai. But I was thinking about doing something else instead of using them, making my own chromatic scales, my own characters, not my own characters, but characters that I would like to hear, a cover of. And it was pretty fun. Obviously, even though that I like to make chromatic scales now, uh, covers are still a thing that, yeah, I don't know, kind of been like my own critic, and I've been pretty mean to myself. So, but I've been slowly getting back in the rhythm, and I've been trying some new covers from like older and newer, which I like them a lot. But again, it's pretty strange just to come back after leaving so long, and I kind of just wanted to give a quick little update to this channel because I know it's probably a lot of people probably left, but I would still like to give my reasonings on why things happen. There's probably things that I probably left out, but you could always type it in the comments, and I would, I'll write back something because hey, today's my day off, right? I got the whole day. Just me. Well, probably not at night because I gotta sleep. But yeah, that's about it. Uh, I really want to talk about more, but my mind has been blank, as you can probably see in the video, which the a long pauses. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick update, and I don't know if I'm back. I feel like I do want to come back in a weird way, making covers, content about FNF or whatever the story I was trying to make into the channel, but I'm kind of moving away because I'm not really an artist, so I can't really make like the art, which would be like the versus horns coming out of the main character's head, which would transition to um, the Sonic versus Fleetway song, which I'm coming a blank to because I haven't heard it in such a long time. Which, yeah, there's a lot of ideas for a lot of characters, but again, I feel like I'm limited because if if I could show the art of it, like the idea of it, it would probably do better. But again, it's all up to me because kind of like a solo project. And yeah, that's about it. Um, Sorry if I kept the rambling longer than I should have, but if I just wanted to give a quick update on things. All right, thank you for listening, and I appreciate you for sticking this long. And yeah, just thank you. It really means a lot that you would take time out of your day to listen to this channel, like be a part of it for such a long time. It's pretty cool. And that's about it. Bye.